Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Fates Revelation blind run. Last time we recruited that one character that I don't like, and we'll probably never see used this playthrough, which is a shame because she inherited some pretty good skills. But yeah, this time we recruit a character who I do like, and we probably will see used this playthrough, so that's good. And firstly, we'll just do our usual castle, and I feel bad, I haven't used Nyx in a little while. I'm thinking that for my last few Master Seals, well, speaking of which, here's that character. Anyway. Oh, and we have the prison, but you know what? I'm not really all that concerned about trying to persuade these two, because I already have them in my logbook. So, I'm just going to leave them there for a little while. I might persuade them off camera. Don't know if they're better or worse than the versions I already have in the logbook. It'd be annoying if they were worse, and I'd overwrite them or something. I wonder if these two can support. Yes, they can. Okay, that's good.
Huh?
Raider can... Well, yeah, you would like a stripping weapon, wouldn't you, Niles?
Yes.
Well, that's at least a nice line, and there's a little bit more we can do here. Yeah, well, yeah, the world needs to look out in general when he's around, but now it needs to look out even more.
You're here.
Once again, Rinka's very unenthused to... Yeah, it'd be very weird if Camus was married to her. Ox Spirit, that's actually not bad.
See ya.
That's definitely not bad. Actually, on the subject of weapons, I need to buy...
Welcome.
Oh, hi, Shigure. That's kind of cool that he's here. I don't think there'll be a sale or anything, but I need to buy... a Beast Killer, like, urgently, because that would have made Chapter 17 a lot easier, so good thing I have one of those now.
Come again.
I'm used to getting at least one of those in a chest or something. And with that, we have a level 3 shrine, so I don't have to worry about what we're feeding Lilith until she's actually really capped, as in really capped for real. Which will... I think there'll be a glowing green stat if that's the case. This is probably the... I don't know if this is the highest that I've trained up Lilith before. I'm not sure. And more gold bars, always useful, because I need to buy some more Master Seals soon. So I'm going to be spending a lot of my money on that for, well, a while. And now it's mess hall time. Let's see who's... Okay, Perry did not appear. Okay, good. Mozu is the next best thing. So... Okay, now for where I'm going next, I have played this chapter before, so I know what's going to be happening. The only ingredients I have that boost resistance, I only have one of each one. I did want a resistance boost, but I guess I can go for a defense boost instead. And, speed.
Well, look at me.
And now I think about it, yeah, Mozu and Kaze have been... Oh no. Sweet. That's not terrible.
Yes.
Yes.
That's ironic because your papa can't cook. He's the only one who can't be in the mess hall. Luck +1. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, so many characters that I really wish that I was using more, like Kagero and especially Arthur, because he actually got good, and Mozu, yeah, so many characters that I wish I could use more of. And Charlotte as well. Unfortunately, her husband turned into a jerk on this run. So, who's on arena duty this time? I think once I get the unlimited Master Seals, I'll probably be grinding everyone to promoted so I can at least try and show off some more characters. I was actually just thinking about Baruka.
Me too.
Oh wow, she and Aboro are here? I guess they have a higher support rank than her and Silas at this point, so this could be interesting. I want more Daikons, but I don't want to lose my only one. Yeah, a lot of things I have 1 or 4 of. And I guess you have the better defense. It's actually kind of cool to see these two working together in the arena.
This scum doesn't stand a chance!
Whoa, that's surprisingly harsh. And clearly they don't, because, yeah, the main fighter is not doing anything.
How do you like this?
Unfortunately, Avoro is barely doing anything in return, but still. And...
You won't survive this.
well, yeah, you wouldn't have anyway, but... yeah, that puppet is...
Too easy.
no one is fixing that puppet. That puppet is gone. Made. I have weapon triangle advantage on that.
I've got your back.
Yeah, you know, it'd be really cruel if the maid suddenly had a flame shuriken. Okay, this needs to hit. Thank you.
Done.
Yeah, Veruca's doing pretty good, actually.
Done.
She's basically a flying general, but that is quite useful sometimes. Scarlet has more speed, though, but, and, let's go to the face domain. I don't think I'll actually get any any actual face touching this time. But we can bond at least a little bit more. Soon we will reach the face touch threshold. I wonder if she's going to say the same thing or not. She might say the same thing, and I'm going to have to get used to her saying that, because, yeah, the Mary quotes repeat a lot.
Even if fate tears us apart, we'll always have these sweet moments to hold dear in our hearts.
And there's the birthright foreshadowing line that I heard about. I've heard some of the foreshadowing was even more unsubtle in the Japanese version, but, anyway. I forgot that we have more people that we can face look now. I remember Ignatius's My Room model being really weird. But I remember Setsuna's being quite good, so let's see her.
You seem to be having fun.
So now that she's here, there's going to be traps in Kamui's room.
You're so nice. I guess that's what Lady Hinoka sees in you.
I think she has the same voice as Felicia. I'm thinking about it, it does make sense. Now let's just not immediately exit because we could see a different line by Azura here. Oh, I've seen that line before. What is Azura doing there, though? She's just kneeling on the ground for some reason. And now... what do we got here? Okay, Kamui and Rinka B, which I'm pretty sure we've seen before, and this, which also we've seen before. So I can skip both of these. But I did promise we'd be showing, mother-child supports. Okay, have we done this before or not? I did notice that I got that, and I wanted to check the records hall to see if I... So let's check. Support log, where is Elise? Or Niles, whichever one is fine. Yes, we already have that one. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling those two would get a support up from the last chapter, but... and, once again, I don't need to go back here, but for some reason I feel compelled to every time I do supports. So yeah, we can skip that one, unfortunately. So we have Cardin and Azura C. Not Perry. And those two, so not many supports, which is kind of disappointing. I don't know if I've actually done this one before. This actually reminds me of her and Keaton supports. Yes, yes, you wish you could frolic? Just say frolic and you will do that. And yes, you like to admit that your tail's wagging, unlike a certain someone whose tail definitely isn't wagging or anything. I don't think I've actually seen that one before. That is interesting. Reminds me a bit of that fluffy bit from Zootopia. But anyway, like I said, I promised that I'd show this. Now, seeing as this is Kana we're talking about, I doubt we'll see much difference here. So yeah, the flower is, although I was about to say except for the flower is always different for every mother, and from what I've heard, for Rajat, it's actually really hilarious. Daisies. Don't worry, Kana, your mother in another universe accidentally hurt an entire country. So, from... That actually did seem a little bit different from what I remember of Scarlet as the mother. And random trivia here, apparently there were plans for Azura to have unique supports with Kana depending on the routes, just like she has different supports with Kamui depending on the routes. I'm kind of... yeah, I kind of wish she did, because if she did, that would give Kana at least marginally more interestingness or something. Anyway, so, unless I want to use the Forge a little bit, which I'm not really doing all that much in this place. Actually, I want to check what's, hello Bob, can we help build something? We can't upgrade the, hot spring to level 3 yet, can we? Not quite yet, but we can build a grave! Yeah, we can make it for Hans and Iago, so we can dance on it. But, I forgot how big the healing tile was. So, where should this go, then? Where are we likely to start tanking things? There's actually not many places it can go. I guess I could try and put it near... I can't really fit it near the Dust Dragon. Let's just put it there. For now. Yeah, I like putting forests at the start of my castle entrance because, well, I love putting people with natural cover there. It's really good for tanking the initial rushes of invasions. But anyway, speaking of invasions, there's actually another one available at this point. And I might want to do that a little bit later, seeing as all the enemies in this one are promoted, and I might want to wait until I get some more promoted people, otherwise I'll be forced to use my promoted royals again, and they'll get way too overleveled for the upcoming chapters. So, yeah. Instead, quite a few challenges are available. Should probably do those off camera later, just to get the rest of my characters caught up. But instead... we're going to go to Surprise Duet this time, and this will be actually the second time I've shown this one, because I skipped it, I believe on Birthright I skipped it, yeah. So, see you at the Astral Sea. I'm not sure how we're going to be doing against the enemies in this paralogue, but we can certainly try. So it's time for a Surprise Duet. Fortunately, I can't really make up random song parodies off the top of my head like a certain person is really good at doing on a certain show. Yes, you love to be on the ocean's grey waves.
We've got trouble.
And beautiful moment interrupted by We've Got Trouble.
Oh,
And it wasn't you who crashed into something. That's amazing. I was really surprised this guy was a Pegasus Knight. I completely didn't expect him to be one. I expected him to be a second singer, but evidently they wouldn't give us that.
Mother.
But yeah, so I've learned recently that Matthew Mercer, the voice actor for Shigure, has amazing vocal range, but now I can't get it out of my head that this guy is voiced by the same person who voices Victor the Black Powder Merchant, and I just can't unhear that. I'm now going to hear him sounding like Victor the Black Powder Merchant.
Oh my.
I will say, Matthew Mercer also does a really good stereotypical Scottish dwarf voice as well, which I don't think I've ever heard him do in a game. Unfortunately, we know that everyone's already dead.
What's that? The minions of Anuncost, the copyright police, have come after him because they think he must be silenced too, because he is, yes. They've somehow put a copyright on Azura's genetic material and, wants to erase her son from existence. Shigure.
Here they
My
come.
apologies.
Come again?
And unfortunately, she can't say because she will die. It's only on Birthright that you don't get the explanation for why Azura can't explain this, which is probably going to confuse people who play that route.
Shigure.
And the explanation for why they'd be after Shigure.
Mother.
But hopefully not that much longer.
Trust me.
It's just...
Well, yeah, Deadly Secrets is right. It's more deadly than he even knows.
Listen.
No.
I see.
And it's just incredibly weird because Shigure says he won't keep his distance, he'll fight, and yet he doesn't join in this chapter at all. He only joins at the end of it, which really annoys me. You don't even get to see his stats in this chapter.
We won't
Oh,
lose.
and that, even if it's at the cost of my lifeline, makes more sense seeing the end of Birthright now.
I'm with you all the way.
And so, as the invisible apparitions surround you on two boats, everybody roll initiative! And... okay, so once again we have a mixture of level 20 unpromoted. Okay, so this is actually kind of funny. I'm used to doing this. I did this way later on Birthright, and I'm used to all of these enemies being berserkers. So, I'm actually not used to, and I'm not used to you still being an outlaw. Regular Dark Mages too, yes. I actually realized that... You know what? Both of the other times I recruited Shigure, he had a seal. This is the earliest I've ever done this paralogue. That's actually kind of interesting. I've never seen this paralogue with not all promoted enemies before. So... yeah, I'm used to this being a really tough paralogue, but it actually may not be here. Actually, now that I think about it, if I was really fast with grinding up, so first we're gonna just do this. If I was really fast about grinding up Leo and Sakura supports, I could potentially get some revenge on Forest Paralogue for being so tough before. It's possible, but I don't know if I really want to rush the relationship. But I do want to use the two of them here. Though mainly I want to use Hinata, because she's only level 1. And there is a reason why, well actually, I may have done this off camera, I forget, but I do have a dual Naginata, which I want to give to you. I want to get rid of and put in the convoy, because I misclicked. There we go. Okay, that's good, but she needs to remember that's not going to be very good against the, it's actually going to be good against the archers, though, but not very good against the mages. And Xander pretty much totally carried this chapter back when everything was berserkers, so... yeah. we'll have to watch out for all of these bow users. For, you know, obvious Hinoka death reasons. And now we get to... I remember using Setsuna in this on Birthright, which was off camera. She actually kind of had some issues. Now, who still needs to get some supports up? Apart from the underleveled brigade. I would kind of like to use... actually, Ignatius would be pretty bad in this chapter. Actually, Azuma and Effie are still at sea, so I might as well use them. I promised that I'd bring Kaze and Mozu, so they're coming. I already have one healer. As much as I'd like to use Arthur here, I think I'll grind him off camera. And who else needs supports? Not, that is not very, very over-leveled. I think Rinka and Keaton are very... hopefully very close to an S, so I'll see if I can make these two work. Now, let's just check out our inventories. Azuma, you definitely need some more staves. Actually, rescue might not be a bad idea in this map, seeing as people get trapped here. One new staff. I'm not really... Well, if I'm not bringing Felicia, I may as well bring that. Anything else that Felicia has? Yeah, might as well take some of her staffs too. And Effie... I suppose she could take the... Killer Lance, maybe. No, wait, you have that. I don't think you're going to be using it all that much. Or she could take a stick. And Mozu... Oh, she's still at a D. Kaze is already at a B in shurikens, though. Are there any better shurikens that he can use? Take that barb one. And then... Can you use any better tomes? You could use Kamui's paper. For now, I think that's enough. So firstly, you are going to go into it. You and Xander are going to go into an area where there are hopefully less archers. Then, speaking of archers, tomes beat bows, so Mozu might not want to go down in the lower area, but all these axe users might be kind of scary for her and Kaze. But I need someone to take on the tome user at the bottom, and, well, you know, Leo is actually a very good mage. Actually, technically speaking, Hinoka's probably better served down here, even though there are a lot of outlaws. But I'll leave things open for her to maybe swing around and... Now, I actually don't want to pair you up yet, because I might need your healing. I will leave it open for her to swing around and potentially use her dual Naginata on these enemies up here if she needs to. And Leo should probably take a sword just in case. Well, he is kind of a tsundere. Guess he could use that. And then Azuma. Yeah, see, I'm not really sure how well Effie's going to do here in general, but especially against the Berserkers, but I mean, I could try and give her the dual Naginata, I just don't really know how that'd help. I'll try this, but like I said, I don't really know if it will help. And boarded. Oh right, this is a defeat boss. I keep forgetting that. So that means that, see, I like these partitions here, because if it weren't for those partitions, then things could get really dangerous here. Speaking of really dangerous, though, that hand axe is, I don't think the boss moves just yet. I don't want to end this too early. try and take that one out. Now, if I lock you guys in... See, Hinoka doesn't have to worry about being trapped on the boat, because... Well, I mean, she doesn't have a ranged weapon, which is sort of a problem. I should have dealt with that. Yeah, I probably should have given her a javelin. In fact, let's try and rectify that now. We do have an extra... We don't have a javelin here, do we? No, we... Why is this... Someone else has the spear, don't they? Yeah, that's a problem of having way too many characters that you know what to do with. Every time you need something, it's usually on another character. Yeah, let's just take meat that was lying around on a ship, because that's completely healthy. So you have... That's with the steel axe. Hand axe only has 7 might, which would be 29 attack power, against Mozu's 15 defense, which is surprisingly high. And provided she only gets hit by one thing, this should hopefully work okay. Actually, a dual shuriken would be useful right about now. I can buy those. It's actually pretty confusing having access to both armories, because there's a lot of possibilities for weapons now. And I am gonna just give you the seeing boost. Actually, wait, I should have, or should I say, Azura will give him inspiration dice, which in this game translates to just moving more. Leo will just wait here, and who hasn't... Yeah, you'll just stay there. Okay, the first enemy rushes up to attack. Keaton, what are you gonna do?
Let's go together.
Okay, that rolled a miss, and... Yep, he's dead. He takes way too many points of slashing damage. Second fighter moves in. He rolls a... oh, yep, that beats his armor class, and now he takes 27 points of slashing damage. And natural 20! And he doesn't get a how do you want to do this, because that wasn't a boss. What did I say about not wanting to lure the boss this early? Speaking of bosses, Mozu, please don't crit, otherwise I actually might restart this chapter. Okay, yeah. That was actually sort of awkward, because I don't... Right, the boss is out of range. He's not gonna just die this turn. Good. That was kind of interesting, although is there a... Yeah, I'm used to there being more adventurers who can just heal each other, so that boss, I think the damage he took is going to be permanent. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, so these paralogs can change pretty drastically depending on when you do them. Especially, like I said, Leo's son's paralog, which I'm kind of hoping will be... I don't even need the guard Naginata to take no damage from you. That "we meet again" quote is kind of weird. I'm not sure why he says that. And another natural 20.
You're not ready for
He
this.
takes 56 points of piercing damage, which well exceeds his HP, and dies a painful death. I think Effie... Well, I was about to say she might be useful against these outlaws, but now that I think about it, she's had bad experiences with archers in earlier files. I really hope that Azuma and Effie don't just end up on the standing there team.
Thanks.
Unless you're going to cast a Cure Light Wounds.
which is pretty much the only Cure Wounds spell that Azuma has because his magic is so low that he just barely heals anything. At least it's not Azuma using a Wayne Festal, which is completely the worst idea ever, as the enemies have proved on the Conquest route. It's just always hilarious seeing him use the Wayne Festal. It's just like, okay, so we do have to be a little bit cautious here because I remember these enemies being kinda tough later on in the game, but that doesn't boost. That's a really good boost for Leo, though. And that's a decent boost for Sakura as well. Yeah, they actually work very well as a pair-up. For now, let's just, I guess, see what happens if these two go just here. Yeah, I'm not used to this parallel, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm not used to this parallel being this relatively easy. Now, I'm actually going to lock in that guy's range only because I don't want him to kill himself. It's kind of weird how you can almost one-turn this chapter by complete accident.
I won't allow it!
Mimi's again invisible. The mask was weirdly blocking the way there.
Together. Just in the nick of time.
And wait for it. That's what I was afraid of. But not for the reasons you'd be expecting. I was afraid of that because now you are in a greater position to kill yourself. And end the chapter. And, well, remember how I said I wasn't worried about Hinoka getting stuck on the boat? It turns out that it actually is possible for her to get stuck. I didn't expect that to happen, but it evidently can, because the walls of this ship for some reason are impassable to flyers. And evidently not strong enough to fly over these walls that should very easily not prevent you from doing much. I'm pretty sure there aren't reinforcements in this chapter, but I could be wrong. Okay, that's not particularly good damage. And yeah, that's the thing with Leo. It's like he's actually not that good with swords, surprisingly. You'd think he would be, but like his strength is not that bad, and you'd think it'd be great for killing mages, but his own magic tends to do a better job. It's just like giving giving sages knives in Path of Radiance, which is probably the weirdest thing ever, and no one should really ever do it because it's bad. Can Effie finish this guy? Yes, she can, quite effectively, actually. And let's just desperately try and get supports between her and Azuma. Foolish fool listens to the foolish foolishness of other foolish fools. And no, I don't think that guy was even trying.
Were you even trying?
Yes, as like I was saying, the idea of sages using knives is that because of enemy mages having low defense, you do a lot of damage to them with knives. The problem is that mages have such bad strength and such good magic that they'll be doing more damage to high resistance enemies with magic than they would with physical weapons, so it's pretty useless anyway. And both pre-promote sages that you get over the course of the game, for some reason, have knives, and not, well, admittedly they have very good base strength, so they're some of the few characters who can make, and as much as I'd love to take pot shots on that guy, probably could do that and then run, because I don't want, again, I don't want that guy to get any suicidal tendencies. You know, it'd be funny if I actually lured him onto this ship and then I boxed him in so that he couldn't die while I finished off the rest of the army. It's a weird concern to not want to end the chapter too soon and thus wanting to keep the boss alive by all means necessary. Yeah, I don't even want to send anyone on the ship because that way the boss is also gonna... Unless they don't have any ranged attacks. I remember Keaton doing quite well here on
see, here's the problem. I don't want that guy to... And, like, I had this crazy idea to have Azura sing for Kaze, kill that guy off, go over here and drop Rinka in his place so the boss can't kill himself on Kaze, but that would put Rinka in unnecessary danger. Maybe if I had Keaton go there, the boss would hopefully be enticed by the possibility of someone who can't counterattack, but there's also the possibility the boss would go for the one who takes more damage. Sandpaper doesn't, although I could get a Dragon Fang. I kind of wish that I had a 3-range weapon here, if only because I could snipe this Berserker without worrying about the boss killing himself.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to do something kind of crazy here. I am just going to go and put Kaze there, so that the boss runs up and gets killed by Kaze, while also not going in that guy's range. Okay, the boss is staying there and using his fist. What are you doing? You are intentionally making it so that I can't kill you without killing the boss, aren't you?
You have my aid.
I suppose we can skip this because of the... Okay, one Berserker's boarded us. And good, he is isolated from the boss. And so, we can actually go and, well... try and get rid of... Oh, I just put Azura in range of a Berserker. That's not good. Because even though they are weaker than I'm used to, they probably still one-shot me. 34 and 9. That is... That's 25, isn't it? Yeah, that is over her HP. Kamui, do you boost... You're only boosted by 1. Well, that's a major, major problem. I kind of should have... Well, that's annoying. So, let me just try something. I can't even see the booster stats if I do that. We're kind of frowned upon looking those stat boosts up in the middle of a battle. Wait a minute! I said the rescue staff could come in handy here! Looks like it actually has, even though this was not how I wanted to use it. Because I could have avoided that use if I hadn't left Azura in range stupidly. For now, though, we can just focus on taking this guy out. And that was sneak attack damage, but not enough to finish it off. Sometimes I feel like, am I the only one who thinks that Vax's sneak attacks are kind of broken? He seems to do just, he always hits around like 50 to 60 damage in one round just by sneak attacking something that hasn't seen him yet with that automatic critical bonus that he gets, and that was quite a lot of damage for hitting Sakura. But thankfully nothing else can actually reach her. Let's see if I can lure something in with... Oh, they both have equal defense, but he's got much, much better HP. And meanwhile, Hinoka will just stay here and pick these guys off one by one. Oh, there's the Queen Feather that she's got on.
Together.
This critical hit has been censored by scenery.
I won't lose. Here.
That was all? Just her? She's not really gaining all that much strength, which is kind of a problem. I also read that
What?
she, despite joining at level 17 or 18, she has less she has only like 1 point more HP than when she joined in Birthright, when she was much lower than that level. And of course, you can still use your staff, even though it doesn't do much. What are you doing? Okay, at least we got another promoted enemy on our boat for some good experience. Keaton takes 12 points of piercing damage.
What do you think you're doing?
Meanwhile, you take no points of anything.
Let us begin.
And now I have to worry about the boss again. So, oh, okay. Actually, wait, I don't have to worry about the boss again because he's still stuck behind this barricade. So now, I guess I should just go for the more reliable option. Okay, come on. I don't think you can... There we go, good.
Your battle has ended.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that Kazuya has the best
Leave
not
it to me.
HP, definitely far from the best HP. And had to have a brief pause while I plugged my DS in because the battery was running out. Right, let's see. That would not quite do it. That would, but that hit rate is terrible. I do have the dual Naginata though. And that actually would do it. Though, there is the possibility of that failing. Also, if I want... Actually, wait, I still will get supports up with, though, exposing Azuma's... I'm pretty much going to finish this guy off this turn regardless, so... Don't have to worry too much about exposing Azuma. Oh, 1 HP off full. And so, yes, dual Naginata. And that's a considerably high hit rate.
I want to see what happens. I got this.
Oh, nope. That's definitely a shame. And yeah, we can't actually get to Effie, so one of these two has to do it. And 70 is kind of unreliable, so I'm probably going to have to do this.
No need to be afraid.
No critical. And thus, Keaton reaches level 20 and has the potential to upgrade into an even more powerful class, but I already used him all that much on... I already overused him a lot on Conquest, so not sure I want to use him as much here. Also, yeah, this ship has come close. Yeah, gotta be careful not to let the boss just die early.
I'm impressed.
Yes, hopefully you'll stop being a jerk to her in supports. And I don't have a ranged weapon, so I can't actually test how much damage she'd take from the counterfire. Now that I have Hinako as a Sky Knight, does that mean I should promote Shigure to Kinshi Knight? I've heard very conflicting things about how good people think Kinshi Knight is. I personally think it's actually a pretty decent class. It may not have the best stats overall, but it does have access to bows on a flyer, which is actually really useful. Speaking of useful, you know what else is useful? Kamui having staves. And that is something we're not actually getting here, because he is not yet a Hoshido Noble. And now... they're going to be... they're not out of... oh, they are out of range now! But you guys aren't out of range. You double, that's sort of a problem. Although I could do a maneuver with Azura to boost these two further forward. Let's say forward further, and then it came out weird sounding. So like, there, you carry Azura all the way there, and this might be enough of a boost not to get double, but I'm not really sure.
Nice work.
It is enough of a boost to one-shot this guy,
This is not good.
which is great.
What a workout.
I do want to see how Effie does as a general. Probably pretty good. Though I still think she is capable of doubling, so Wary Fighter might not be the best for her. And here, well, still got 7 enemies left, 1 on this boat, and a lot on the other boat. Yeah, I would like to heal Sakura. See, this is why I want to get her live to serve release. That would be amazing. You stop being annoying. As much as I would like to... Yeah, and that is going to stop you from getting doubled. Great. Well, I mean, this guy is using a steel weapon, so... he might not have doubled anyway. And then... you move in, and you move out, but I'm... well, I should be fine with that. I think she's safe here. Okay, it was enough to prevent a double. But as long as I use the dual Naginata, all of these guys get one-shotted. Thanks to Effie's ridiculously good personal skill and great strength.
Were you even trying?
Yes, Effie has well and truly broken the female Armor Knight curse in the series. For those who don't know, female Armor Knights have not exactly had the best reputation in the series, let's just say. Now, there aren't all that many enemies left actually, so... you don't have the dual Naginata anymore, I need to remember that. So what to do here? You only do 9. But the Berserker probably does a lot more. And then that guy will do considerably more. Unless we go to a spot where he can only use his hand axe. Which would be like here? Yeah, there. And nobody else is in range. And separate you guys out there. And let's see if we can lure a few of them off the boat. There's one, and that gives me a guard gauge, that's fine.
You need me.
And it missed anyway. You take 16 points of slash. I'm pretty sure axes are slashing damage.
If you die on me, I'll kill you. Save me! You owe me one.
I thought he'd still heal, but thankfully he didn't have to leave the boat to do so. What's that guy? Oh, there are reinforcements! Second boat, please. Oh, that's actually bad. Oh, right, fine. They're safe. Good, that boat moved up. I forgot there were reinforcements, actually. Even with a dual Naginata, that is not the best prospect. That guy can still reach, can't he? He can still reach in a very big way. And that is not even killing. I didn't realize that. Yeah, in fact, that guy can definitely reach, except Leo can reach him and not do much, except Sakura can reach, and I need Azura to do that. Okay, let's first take you out.
Leave it to me.
Mozu, hopefully you remember to... Actually, Mozu must not have remembered to Hunter's Mark him, Actually, she did remember to Hunter's Mark him because that happened. Yeah,
Did I get stronger?
I'm missing a lot of one-shots here. At least I have one more there that should hopefully go down pretty easily, but... Now, your speed is 19. Leo's is only 16. That's with a meal boost. You get +4, and that would put you at 20, which is not enough to double that guy. I kind of wish... Yeah, that would end your turn. For the sake of... Let's try this. As much as I would like to do that to Effie. Yeah, so that only puts you at 20 speed, which is not enough to double, but it could be enough to finish this thing if... I don't like 1% critical rates at all. But I don't want to have to use Xander here.
You have my aid.
Okay, no 1% critical, that's good. And now Leo can just finish this one off. But now that reinforcements are starting to show themselves, I should probably start to think about finishing the chapter up.
I'm ready.
You better not miss. Thank you.
Excellent.
And yes, somehow managing to sprout, if this was a D&D campaign, then I'm sure somewhat Leo's player would come up with some big justification for how the ship is technically made of wood, so I can sprout trees from it by turning the wood into trees somehow, and yeah.
Try and pull your weight.
Is that going to put her at 20 or not?
Phew.
Yes, it is. Another 2 people that I maybe won't be able to promote until I have infinite Master Seals, because, yeah. And again, for those asking why I don't just buy Master Seals from other castles, I can't. I don't let myself do that, because I consider it borderline cheating.
Shall we?
Yeah, I was hoping the Guard Nugget would help her survive this, and it did, thankfully. And, yeah. Well, at least one of those had to miss. At least it hit the one that didn't matter. I mean, at least they hit the Berserker. Yeah, I thought there'd be more reinforcements. And that boss is dangerously close. So, right. I guess you actually need to do this more.
No quarter.
Once again, Xander.
Clear the way.
And yet another natural 20, this time without even a killer weapon. And now you heal your sister.
Ha! I need to get stronger.
That was actually very, very good. Very good. And now we have... So those two are both at level 20. I wonder if I should actually maybe try and end this. I don't know.
Well done.
In some ways at this point you don't really need to grind much anymore because these paralogs just give you enough experience. That Berserker is still kind of worried, although I could just... Don't use the dual katana, that would be a really bad idea. And I like how you still think you can critical even though you have a 0% chance of hitting. And Kaze still hasn't used that, yeah, he still hasn't used that guard gauge he's built up. Although this boss thing would certainly double Effie. $30, and then Effie has, with the weapon triangle, and she'd take... Actually, she'd kind of just take 10 twice. And as long as I got rid of that Berserker, that might actually not be that bad. She'd have to be using the dual knight guard, of course. And wait, she'd get a full guard gauge, so I think she's actually pretty much safe either way.
Well, that was easy.
Unfortunately, I now have to waste your experience by having Kamui fight you. Even though there is still a slight chance Kamui could fail this. No, he didn't. He did the fancy acrobatic flippy attack.
It's over.
Unless Kamui somehow dies here, but that hopefully won't happen. Well, that was unlucky. Oh, and there's Draconic Hex. Yeah, it's only 7. And one of them gets guarded, so Effie does a pretty good job here. Effie is not usually the best tank out there. Oh, don't you... now Kaze can't hit level 20. And now the bottom ship is docked with us, even though there's no one on it. It's a mysterious ghost ship. So if I'm not equipped, he does 8 times 2. Well, I guess I could just dual Naginata you in the face.
Alright, let's go.
So this is supposed to be how an unpromoted Effie works. For some reason on my Conquest run, Effie was terrible until she promoted. I think I've been kind of RNG blessed by her as well on this run because she never had that much defense on my Conquest run at all. And seeing as you're already maxed out... Let's just give you a deadly paper. And actually, deadly paper card is not going to be enough. I actually haven't seen Draconic Hex all that often, probably because Kamui just one-shots most things that he's fighting at this point in the game. Mosu just needs to lightly tap something to get to level 20 now. And Azura can get some decent experience here by seeing for someone who's actually close to her level. Okay, at least we can get another unlucky one. Now I just imagine Kamui falling, just jumping backwards and falling down that, like, uncovered pit there.
No need to despair.
Even though it is covered at the moment. See, for some reason I can fully imagine Azuma saying, "No need to despair, that comes later." We can't really get there unless... Yeah, I don't think they can get there. So the question is, do I want to have Kaze get this or Mozu? Even though this is a bit of a waste of a kill, seeing as Mozu, like I said, just needs to lightly tamp something in order to level up at this point.
Don't scare me like that.
And there we go. And I already know what I'm gonna... Wow. Yeah, those are pretty impressive stats, and finally she's at a C rank. So now she can actually use the killer bow, which I now realize is not necessary on Takumi, because... Yeah. Actually, now I think about it, that boss guy, Effie's already maxed out, and I don't want Kamui to get them because Kamui's already way too high leveled as it is. So, after doing this, I think I will simply... I was about to say that might be a bad idea, then I realized she gets a full guard meter out of this. So, wait for it, wait for it. Okay, I think, judging by the animation, that's hit. So, Hinaka, how do you want to do this? She just says she brings her guard Naginata down on them, smashes them with the shield part repeatedly, and tosses their corpse out into the ocean where it's then eaten by sharks. And she gained strength. She also said that she gained strength out of that. So that was, yeah, this is the first time I've done this without all the enemies being promoted, and it is certainly a lot easier. It's also kind of amusing when I said that Hinako couldn't get trapped on one of the lower boats, and she actually did.
Shigure.
And it's over, and unfortunately we didn't get to use him at all. It's weird. I wish that he did join in that one. He'd kind of be perfect for it. Well, I mean, he'd be perfect for it if he had a dual Naginata, because a lot of axe users. And, yeah. Everyone is gone. And this causes Shigure to get possessed by a smoke entity and go on a revenge rampage.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't want to ruin the moment, but now I completely ruined Shigure's no outburst by imagining it in the voice of Victor the Black Powder Merchant. Ah!
No.
And now it's singing, because that's one of your quotes.
Huh?
Once again, he's going to sing of silence and blood and rain falling and it not washing away the mud. Or just that.
Truly.
Actually, after I finish Revelation, we will know what it sounds like to hear Shigure singing, and from what I've heard, it's amazing. Yes, but will it wash away the mud?
Mother,
Ah,
I...
what's that?
Not quite the same sacrifice that Azura wants to make, though. Be careful about that.
Very well.
And very soon we'll be able to tell you why those invaders went after you.
My heart is singing. Yes.
And that's where we'll leave this session for tonight. Unfortunately, there's no gigantic cliffhanger, but still. So, we now have Shigure. Actually, that's not where we'll leave it, because I want to check his stats. So, as I thought, he's level 20. Those are some pretty impressive starting stats. And then he has Draconic Hex, which is going to be pretty fun, and not quite as fun as Lethality, but I don't think I ever saw him activate that in the other run, which is a shame. And, oh yeah, he's got a Rally skill, that's cool. And Voice of Peace, which I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be able to get normally. And what do his stats look like when he uses a Master Seal? As a Falcon Knight, that skill is kind of low, but strength is pretty good, and Kinshi Knight, it's a bit of a bigger boost in the skill. That speed is not all that impressive, but the ability to use bows is pretty cool, and seeing as I already have Hinoka, and I'm probably not going to use any other Sky Knights, I'll probably promote him to Kinshi Knight. But I don't know if I'll want to use a Master Seal on him just now. Anyway, with that, that is where we'll end this session for today, and I'll see you next time for, hopefully, actually going to our next destination. So, see you then.